Because you tend in the media to get judged by behaviours and outcomes rather than intentions. It's always black and white. We go into the game with good intentions, we make changes with good intentions, go into a tackle and make a pass with good intentions. The outcome decides which headline we'll see. Very rarely is the game fantastic or really bad. It just hovers about good or not good enough. Now, they've got...
Sounds like his managerial career so far.
Well, it's an interesting point that you bring up because they've got West Ham coming up at the weekend. These are the predictions from all of you. A couple of you have gone for a draw and the rest of you have gone for a Manchester United win. But what is the real Manchester United? Is it that 4-1 win over Newcastle? Or is it that 2-1 loss at Young Boys? What are we seeing this season?
That 4-1 win over Newcastle wasn't exactly plain sailing for most of the game.
Yeah.
Right? And let's be honest, Newcastle's sole goal in life under this ownership is to avoid relegation. There's no ambition at that club at the moment, and yet it wasn't convincing from United. But look, OK, you've got a new player in Ronaldo. He made changes, and that's what he's hinting at in his long-winded quote. But the buck stops with him. He rested some players, particularly in midfield, and Varane at the back didn't play, and they got a sending off and they got beat. Look, they're a stronger squad than last year. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But I think there's still a lot of convincing to do, and that's the reason I've gone for a 1-1 draw at West Ham, because I think David Moyes has done a great job down there. I saw them outplay United for most part last year in London and then get beat. But I think they'll have learned from that lesson. And I think United are somewhere in between those two performances for me.
Here's the thing for me and about Manchester United.
You went for United winning, right?
I went for United winning.
Really?
I went for a 2-0 Manchester. I think I was the most... I was the most heavy Manchester United backer here. But here's the thing for me. Listen, United United against Newcastle was that perfect storm of a situation for them, with Ronaldo at home against a Steve Bruce led team in Newcastle, who are trying to be more attack-minded about what they do. And then in the end, I thought the emotion of the situation got the better of Newcastle. I don't think the 4-1 scoreline was reflective of the game at all. You go away to Young Boys and it's disappointing. But it's the first game. There's a long way to go yet. Keeping in mind, and this is my thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Before that game, you talk about the need to rest Ronaldo and rotate the squad, and you're going to make that decision. Yet you go into this game a couple of days after he makes his debut on a national turf pitch, and you play him from the start. You're contradicting what you're trying to sell us straight away. And then this latest quote. I have no idea what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is trying to say there. None. I really am trying to understand the point he's trying to get across, and whether it's intended for the team, whether it's intended for the media, or just intended to confuse every single body that decides to read it. And in a season, as I just said, that I think will be decided by the managers, how they manage their squads, how they rotate. You look at the other three, all three of those managers have won wherever they've been. They've won major European honours. The one exception is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is not adding to his own reputation any confidence in him with statements like this.
Frank, your thoughts on this?
Well, I think it will be the first real test in the Premier League for Manchester United. If we see the opponents they faced for the first 4 days, I think West Ham has something to play against Manchester United. They had a good season last season. They started well this season, and I'm very surprised with Shaka's prediction, because I really thought that as a former player for West Ham, he would have given a chance to West Ham. But really, I think they have something to prove to everybody, that not that they're a better team on the sheet, but on the field, they have to show to the world that they're much better, that they can do better, that they can be even better than they've been last year. But I want to see it. So it's going to be interesting. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't resolve the problem that he had last year in the middle of the park. What do you do with Pogba? Do you pick Fred, McTominay, or Van de Beek? You know, something has to be resolved in that part of the field. and he didn't so far. So I want to see it. It's going to be interesting to see if there are some changes.
Now, what about you, Robbo? What were you looking out for in this game?
Well, there's a big bonus for Manchester United because Michail Antonio changes the way West Ham play. When he's fit, and this time he's suspended, when he can run in behind defenders, he's a real threat and he takes the opposition back. Then there's more room for the likes of Ben Rama to play. There's more room for the two midfield players to get on the ball, Souček to make his forward runs. But without Antonio, and they're talking about playing Yarmolenko up front. I saw Yarmolenko play up front in an FA Cup tie at Old Trafford where he couldn't move. He didn't make any runs behind, and that could be a major, major problem for West Ham, and great news for Manchester United.
Yarmolenko in that game, Robbo, couldn't wait to come off, could he? Couldn't wait to come off.
He was absolutely hopeless on that game. Okay, you know.
Where would you rank Manchester United, Craig, if they weren't managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and they were managed by either Pep, Klopp or Tuchel? Would it change things?
Yes. I mean, they should make a challenge this year. You don't sign the players that they've signed and not expect to make a challenge. I agree that they are, you know, still somewhat short in the middle of the park, depending who's selected. They might be able to navigate that, but they're going to have to make a strong challenge. And at the moment, it's been a decent start. It's not been brilliant performances, but it's been a decent start. But I think that is the one. I think when you look at the other clubs, you don't look at the manager and think, right, is that the weak link? But unfortunately, whether you like it or not out there, the folks that think Solskjaer is the best thing since sliced bread, that's what people are looking at. They're looking at United and saying, right, where are the weak links? And one of them, at the moment, is the manager, because the manager does not have the CV or the resume of these other guys who have all done it around the globe. And that's why these clubs brought them in, to bring the success from the yesteryear and drive their clubs forward. There's still a huge question mark with his tactics and his team selection and his rotation, whether he can take those big boys and big-time coaches all the way this season. So it's a simple answer, yes. I mean, would they be guaranteed to win the league with one of them? No, maybe not. But would they have a better chance of winning the league with one of those other managers? Then absolutely yes.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.